When did the words start? There we go. I remember Jerry. I'm surprised that worked. He almost got the full thing too. I was expecting close fierce Rekkas. But he actually was still in range to get close or stand forward. Stand right now, low forward. It must be nice being able to get your max damage combos when not point blank. Sakura has to be pretty close to get low fierce cancel. And low fierce forward Tatsu. It's not point blank. You could be pretty close to get stand strong by fierce, also not point blank. But I won't say it's very far. That being said, SF5 has much better systems about consistent closeness. It's very easy in this game to think that you're point blank and then some bullshit to make it so you're not actually point blank. Not point blank after cross ups. Not point or point blank changes distance based on which characters are in combat. It could be FE time later tonight. I don't have any plans except for this. I didn't even know there was a USF4 tournament here. But now here we are. I don't know if I can put this on YouTube. In fact, I don't even know if I'm technically supposed to be doing it on Twitch. Because this is kind of like stream sniping. I'm hoping it's more okay if I turn the volume basically off. I've only ever had one person ever call me out for that. I guess two people. It was ketchup and mustard. I put up some footage of them playing Fexel. And they were like, I wish you told us about this. And I was like, my bad. And I took it down. Easier to ask forgiveness than to seek permission. That's my motto. Ooh, that was cool. Anti-air focus is risky against land invincible attack. EX Pinwheel will chase a focus backdash and will beat a focus forward dash or focus release. The trick is that you need to land for at least like 3 frames. You can block as soon as you land, but you can only block, or I should say, it's possible to get a focus release in the landing frames, but it's not easy. After you hit the opponent during their focus, there's the period where you have to hit the ground, and then your 2 landing frames of recovery, because you hit an air normal, and then your 2 landing frames of being able to block and tech throws, but not able to, or being able to tech throws. No, yeah, block and tech throws, but not do anything. There's 2 frames where you can tech throws, but not block, and can't commit to anything, and then 2 frames where you can tech throws and block, but can't do anything, and then you can do whatever you want. So the trick is, if you hit an air normal pretty low, and you hit a focusing opponent, then you can, okay, I gotta skip all the stuff that's not the gameplay. Then you'll land sooner, and you'll be able to get to those frames sooner. The opponent has to resolve the time between a focus charge and focus release, which is not instant, but not too slow. Oh yeah, I played this matchup a lot. Geef is better here than most of the other grapplers. The way that landing frames work is super intuitive, I feel, gameplay-wise, but super unintuitive explanation-wise. That was still a punish. Oh, it is. You never want that in Ultra. That move is hot garbage in Ultra. It's one of the worst special moves in the game. It really does nothing. The EX version is the only one that comes close to doing something, and even it's not great. It's pretty much only ever used to chip out or surprise someone. I'm not familiar with Vega. They fixed it pretty well in Omega, so I'm surprised they took it out in 5. It's actually like, it makes sense. It's functional in Omega. Basically, it doesn't find a wall, he jumps straight up. And it's much faster because of that. Crouch Fierce. Didn't work. So the trick about Crouch Fierce is that he's standing for some of the active frames, but not all of them. And with the ones where he's crouching, his hitbox is higher than his hurtbox, so you can use it to anti-air. So the Crouch Fierce was 2 active frames, and they made it 4 active frames. But they didn't change the startup, so I think the extra active frames are at the end. So it's like, he's crouching, and then he's tall, and his hitbox doesn't go as high as his hurtbox, so you can just beat him with any air normal. But then his hurtbox disappears, and he's back to crouching, but his hand is still up. So with like a precise 2-frame timing, you can actually anti-air cleanly with that Crouch Fierce. But it's literally like a bug. Like, they didn't intend to give him that, I don't think. They just wanted to give it more active frames, but they didn't do anything to make it a better anti-air. But they did, like, in a very roundabout way. Like, they could have just made it crouching for the whole animation, and then it would actually be good. They almost gave Vega a good anti-air in Ultra. That was, like, the most requested thing, I think. People wanted +5 crouch jab and then a functional anti-air when they were discussing the Ultra changes. I remember I looked at Vega's a lot because Vega is one of the most overtly flawed characters, although he's not a low tier. He has a lot of issues that he has to deal with. Nice. Nice little combo. He didn't have charge, so that was like the best he could do. Red focus. Probably just, yeah, down towards Runhouse Scarlet Terror. I know they wanted to make Vega more mobile in SF5. He's definitely one of the more mobile characters in the game. Same Runhouse is okay here as an ATR. It's also good as a whiff punish. It's actually one of Vega's better buttons here. A lot of matchups against Geef turn into one-button matchups. A lot of characters don't have a good way to fight Geef with 80% of their tools, like, just become useless. But then, like 20% of their tools are, like, super duper strong against Geef, who can't move very well. And has very limited ways to approach without, like, you know, walking into a whole bunch of normals, which are much bigger in this game. Nice punish, I guess. So for Vega, low strong, of course, and stand hard kick are pretty obnoxious for Geef to deal with. Air to air and Geef is not so easy, though. Stand hard kick isn't, like, super duper consistent as an anti-air. Geef's different air normals and different jump timings. Different timings on those air normals can make it problematic. You can meet Geef mid-air with, like, a jump strong or an air throw, but air throw you've got to be pretty close. I don't like SF4 Geef because he's, like, super duper all or nothing on the 4-bar red focus. He's, like, not a very good character except for that, which is insanely broken, but only available when you have super. Because it's 1 bar for the red focus and 3 bars for the, or 3 bars for the red focus, 1 bar for the EX hand. But it's so easy to confirm an EX hand because people really want to, you can just chain together a whole bunch of lights and you've got, like, pretty good normals when you're close. And any EX hand you can just turn into a butt ton of damage, and it's invincible, and it's safe with the focus cancel. It feels like with Geef, like, all the match resides on a single instance. EX green hand, red focus into Ultra 1, I think does like 600 damage. Just by itself. Dude, dang. There's other stuff I don't like about Geef, though. He's got a lot of invincibility. I don't like Lariat, and I don't like EX green hand, and I don't like EX SVD. It's like, if Geef's next to you, he can just hit the right thing and you fucking lose. But that's how Geef always is, which is why I usually don't like Geef. Like, yeah, other characters are like that, and yeah, you can space Geef in SF4 and SF5. Why is Do playing Akuma? Nice. That's the easiest link he has, I think, in Ultra 2. Far Fierce might actually be easier. I think Far Fierce has longer hit stun. Don't quote me. Ooh. One of my friends plays Geef, and I had a bunch of matches against him where it was literally like, just mash the, it wasn't dirt. Just mash the fuck out of everything. Get close, mash Lariat, mash SPD, mash fucking EX hand. At the time I was playing Adon, which is one of Adon's worst matchups, but not the worst. Is Geef. Geef is tall, so already he can punish -2 stuff with his SPD because it's a 2-frame SPD. But also, Jaguar kicks hit him earlier than other characters because he's tall, so they're more minus against him. So even like -1 hard Jaguar kick. Adon's pretty awkward. I used to play Guy as well, and Guy's awkward against grapplers. Characters who want to get in but don't have a command grab versus characters who want to get in and do have a command grab, it's usually pretty ugly. Depends on the game though. Depends on the pair of characters. Geef was seen to be a really strong pick against twins for a long time. Hugo is a surprisingly good pick against twins in SF3, but of course there's still the inherent gap of tier. Hugo is still an overall worse character than Yun and Yang. So even though he like is a character counter pick to them, like just the fact that they're so strong makes up the difference. Decap. This was like today. This was at NCR. Technically speaking, Ryu can punish hands better than almost any character in the game with a reversal DP. All of Ryu's DPs are 3 frames, I believe. And you can just scope out where she does the hands from and where she ends up. You can just scope out whether a reversal DP will work. And it's pretty good. Ryu is very reliable at punishing. Like that, he could have DP punished that one, I'm sure of it. If it's not EX hands, they're all -3 or worse. So DP will punish. That one's so unsafe. That was a good FADC though. EX hands is 0 though. And I think Decapre has a 3-frame jab. She's got mostly the same frame data as Cammy, apart from the normals that are different, which is only a couple of them. Down towards medium kick, stand fierce, crouch fierce. Crouch fierce is kind of the same actually. This is a broadcast from 10 hours ago. Decapre's so non-committal. I didn't appreciate just how strong that was until she'd been out a while. Until I fought Jaren a bunch. She can really do nothing for a really long time. And that really enables you to do something every now and then and have it not get challenged. Cool trade. I wonder if we could have ultraed there though. I think the 2 fireballs would have just hit each other and Decapre would have recovered by the time Ultra 1 from Ryu went through. Don't like it. I bet anything that teleport was going to go through. Hard teleport into no follow-up. Remember when she had a ground spiral arrow? I wonder what the fuck the motion was for that. It's a mystery. For her air spiral arrow, it's charged back forward kick, but that's the motion of her teleport on the ground. So it wasn't the same motion unless the teleport used to be charged down, which would make a lot more sense to be honest. That was a nice link. That's hard to do. Links from punches into down medium kick into a fucking hands is like really executionally demanding. Crouch jab low forward is already, I think, one frame. It could have been a command. For Junie, it's charge back forward kick on the ground. And Decapre is supposed to be a spiritual Junie. I like thought that when I first played her, and then Capcom confirmed it in an interview. It was like we were gonna put in Junie, but like if we put in Junie, we would have to actually make Junie, or else people would complain. But if we put in Decapre, we could make Junie and then add new stuff. It's kind of funny because then they made Nash, and they pretty much, you know, they didn't even try to make the old Nash. They made some things from the old Nash, but mostly he's just, you know, an entirely new character. Low medium kick the hands is as hard as a hands combo can get, which is not like super duper hard, but it's not easy. It's easy to fuck up. It's inconsistent unless you've done it a lot. But the link into low medium kick and then getting the kick buffered into the hands is more annoying than a punch buffered into the hands. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I think they did the same thing with G and Q. I think if they put Q into the game, they would have had to make Q very, very much what people wanted. But because they just made a new character, it's like, who the fuck cares? You know, no one's gonna complain that G isn't enough like Q. That doesn't make any sense. But there's definitely shades of Q in there. Yeah, that works. I think low medium punch to low medium kick is one frame as well. But low medium punch to itself is, I think, two. Some pad warriors are godlike at hands. I am not. I'm really bad at hands. Hands are easier in SF5 and I can barely do them. I think there are 4 buttons in that game. Tricky. So JP1, if it hits a grounded opponent, only the last hit launches. But if it's an airborne opponent, all the hits add JP. So it ends up being like a JP7 and Decapre can't do anything. I don't think. There are certain characters where it's like heresy to change them, like Ryu and Guile. And then there are certain characters where it's kind of expected they're going to get some changes, like Chun-Li. And Vega's definitely in that second boat. Vega has some pretty significant changes every game. It's Koji. Very cool seeing him here. T-Hawk's mix-up is very pure, even if he's arguably one of the worst characters in the game. And his matchups usually aren't too slanty. He's just kind of generally weak. He's just got a bunch of 4/6s. Rarely is he counterpicked. Or like formally counterpicked. I shouldn't say rarely. He's one of the easier characters in the game to counterpick. I'm not even going to bring up Blanca. Oops, I just brought up Blanca. But, ooh, that neutral jump fierce. And land fierce was pretty good. I'm doing alright. Omega T-Hawk is so fucking incredible compared to Ultra T-Hawk. Omega T-Hawk has like everything Ultra T-Hawk has. I think he's probably bottom 5 and maybe bottom 3. I think he's pretty bad. His skill ceiling is so low. There's very little you can do to be a good T-Hawk player. This is like the guy who's closest. And he is good. Don't get me wrong. I think he probably is limited by T-Hawk's potential. EX Uppercut is kind of cool. You can't FADC it. Well, I think you can now, as of Ultra. Native Impact, I guess. But if it's blocked, you can cancel to an EX Dive. And that gets you out most of the time, but certain characters can chase it down. It's not as good as an FADC. Certain characters can still punish you, but it's like rare. But if you're cornered. If you're doing it on a cornered opponent and won't save you at all, they can still just block it easily, and then punish you really easily. So it's like a worse FADC, but it's still like make T-Hawk's EX uppercut safe for 1 bar, so it's like 2 bars to stay safe. So it's still like an FADC. All of his normal uppercuts have some invincibility, but not total. I think they're all. I think they're all throw invincible, and I think they all have like partially removed hurt boxes. None of them are fast, unfortunately. He's got very slow uppercuts. Even the X one is not terribly. Actually, the X one might be fast, but the normal ones are really slow. The X one might be like 5. Um, a lot of his normals have very low combo ability, and the normals he can combo, like he just basically it's a string of normals. It'll be like stand jab, stand jab, stand jab. Maybe a far strong at the end. Like that, low forward. It's a very common one. Doesn't end up doing very much damage. Tiak actually has some of the lowest damage in the game, but it's high burst damage. It's like, yeah, he can do 200 some to you with a single hard SPD, but getting more than 200 damage is actually kind of hard for him. It sounds silly, but like max damage is like, what, close strong, you expire medium uppercut, something like that would be your max damage, like regular B&B. And that's not super duper strong. Yeah, every character gets like 500 burst damage with an ultra for the most part. And Tialk's ultras can be landed in neutral. The problem is they can only be landed in neutral for the most part because he doesn't have almost any combos into them. Only focus. And uh, medium uppercut red focus, I think, works, which is pretty good. Yeah, it's just that one. Medium uppercut is 2 hits and the second hit's the knockdown. Yeah, everyone can punish with 500 damage ultras. But you know what Cody can do? He can get 300 damage regular punishes. Must be nice. Well, the jump in he can get like 350, 400. Like 1 bar. Ooh. See that? Cody could have punished that with ultra. So even though it's like 2 bars to stay safe, you know, he still could have gotten fucked up really badly. Scary. Jump back EX dive. You have to EX dive if you're doing a jump back. You can't do a regular dive. Tiaka's pretty good at chipping opponents out, but not like super duper fantastic. He has to be close to you still, and he doesn't approach easily. But in terms of like getting out of the way of his moves, it's not easy. I want to say Nikali. Ultra would have punished that. He tried to backdash it. Oh my god! He should have just ultraed immediately. As soon as he landed that towards Fierce. Ultra would have killed. Tialk had nothing to get out of the way. You can't hold up on Cody's Ultra 2. It won't get you out in time. You'll get hit on the way up. And he had no meter, so he couldn't do anything Fireball Invincible. Ultra wasn't going to work either. It would have been too fast. Cody would have still had his invincibility by the time Tialk did Ultra 1. He definitely could have won that round. It's hard though. I'm alright. 916. It's this guy. He played in an Omega Cup not so long ago. He's my friend on Steam. It's a Ken slash boxer player. Very cool. Only 2. I think I'm better than this guy, but it's hard to say. He's quite good. No punish. Sweep was good there. Very nice. That was weird. He probably tried to release a tap and released it while he was still backdashing. Whew. I mean, not to spoil this entire tournament, but I think NuckleDu only comes in 7th. And considering that NuckleDu is usually considered to be one of the best all-time USF4 players, I think a lot of people are out of practice. That was a counter hit too. That was an easy link into at least cut short. I mean, he played Decapre and Gal in this tournament too, apparently, but I haven't watched that far yet. Balrog's wake up options are so interesting. None of them are that good, but the variety is good. Ooh, very nice. That was the only thing he could have done there. Any normal was going to eat a level 3 focus. Ooh, wake up super. You got a few wake up options with El Fuerte. It's not like he's helpless. EX Quesadilla Bomb is probably the best one. It's not that good. It's not super duper fast. It's fast for the amount of distance it travels, but it does have quite a long startup. His backdash is one of the worst backdashes in the game. The time elapsed is very good. It's one of the shortest duration backdashes, if not the shortest duration backdash. But the distance traveled is very low and the invincibility is very low. Both Wake Up Ultras are pretty good for Fuerte, especially Ultra 2. EX Leg Throw has no hitbox on grounded opponents, but it's got a lot of invincibility and gets him out. And he jumps quite far over your head. It's punishable if you see it, but it like will get out of a lot of meaties. So overall, he's not too bad. Focus Dash is better for Rog, I think, than Focus Release. Rog's Focus is really bad. It's probably the worst in the game. Focus was intended to be like a universal mechanic, but they did affect certain things have like little. There are little minute changes between each focus depending on the characters. The most obvious one is the focus range, but also the dash speed of the character is a big factor. I think that Fuerte is pretty. I don't know. Fuerte has a lot of legitimately strong things like Quesadilla Bomb and Unstop Fierce. And his mix-up is pretty good. But a lot of people overrate him because they don't know how to defend themselves very well. A lot of people like when they do something when they block something like that, they don't punish it. So like he won't like, even though his mix-up didn't play out, even though he was wrong, he doesn't like get hurt really badly like most grapplers do. That whiffs so quickly. EX Quesadilla Bomb. That's full body invincible, but it doesn't go all the way to the ground. EX Headbutt. It's Balrog's only full body invincible reversal besides Ultra. I didn't know Rufus, but I knew that level 2 focuses have very slight differences in speed. But it's usually within a couple frames. Rock has a really good dash, which helps his focus. A lot of people don't expect it from him, too. That was a nice idea on paper. It might not ever hit, though. Yeah, Chun-Li's extremely fast forward dash. There's a slight variation on the amount of hit stun and block stun on focuses, too. Of course, hit stun isn't a big factor because usually you get a crumple. No Ultra. That's nice. He got the punish on the X leg throw. I kind of like that some focus attacks are better than others. But I like that, like, if something is weak to focus attacks, it's weak to anyone's focus attack. That's how it should be, I feel. That's a nice little balancing factor right there. Fuerte's Pancake Press is weak to focus attacks. Tostada Press. That's a punish anyway. He should probably just be sweeping them. He's missing most of his punishes. He can ultra punish them too. Yeah. It's tricky though because if he splats on the other side, you can't ultra. Well, you still can, but it's harder. Wow. Standard hard kick is 2 hits, but the first hit pushes out so far, the second hit won't connect. But the first hit doesn't connect on crouching opponents, and the second hit's an overhead. It's kind of a cool idea. Abel has something similar on his close hard kick. Focus attacks were good against Makoto, but they're also good as Makoto. And if someone's looking for anti-air focus on an axe kick and you just do a regular jump, you can punish it, so it's not too bad in my humble opinion. Yes, I was making one. You can follow it on YouTube if you want. It's got its own little YouTube channel. I got it open in the background right now. I've been thinking about the sword combat. One thing I kind of decided to do recently. What the fuck is this pause? Okay. Rage pause. Um, I was thinking I wanted the combat to be super duper, uh, like a small number of hits does a lot of damage, kind of thing. So like you only take one or two stabs and you're dead, but enemies only take one or two stabs and they're dead. And then I thought about a mechanic where after you take damage, you can hit back to like step away. Like normally stepping away by hitting back, works in the sword fighting. But like if you, while taking damage you hit back, you would take reduced damage, kind of like the red damage in. Oh, he stopped blocking. He didn't know how many hits it was. It's annoying to punish that Ultra, to be honest. I bet Chun-Li's Ultra 2 punishes it though. Ultra 1 probably works as well, but the autocorrect would be annoying. He definitely forgot to block low. But like, if you're just focusing on blocking, you'll probably be blocking low anyway. I was thinking about combos early on, and now I'm not so sure. I also had plans to include like a disarming mechanic, but now I don't think I want that. It's a little bit too much like Nidhogg for me, but I like the idea of it a lot. Oh, if there were combos, there would be very simple combos. No, that's definitely what I'm going for. Some kind of Bushido blade feel. I feel like in real sword combat, it's only like one or two good hits. I was also considering how close you are to the opponent when you hit them. So like if you're only hitting like their extended arm, it only does a little bit of damage, but if you hit their body, it's like a ton of damage. And then like the tougher enemies won't let you approach, or they'll hit you when you try and get that close. It's got to be fair. I want there to be multiple things the player can do. And I want it to be very spacing oriented. I was thinking about making I was thinking about making a grappling mechanic as well, but it would be a little bit of a gag because every single character in the game would overpower the player character. Maybe not a gag, but it would be used for just like a few things. Oh, this matchup. Well, I'm making a finite state engine for combat. I want to be doing it to like a metric of what I want all my combat states to be, which is going to be all my different types of attacks. So I definitely need to make some kind of sword fighting schematic of what I want the factors to be in sword fighting. Okay, it's not that matchup. Ken is alright against grapplers. There's Tatsu becomes a lot worse against grapplers. A lot of the Tatsus are minus, and if anything's minus, Ultra 1 from grapplers will punish it. But this is not an Ultra 1 Geef. I mean, Hugo. He could have had a hard SPD there. I mean, hard uppercut. Hard SRK. He didn't take it. Maybe he didn't believe in it. Probably, I mean, I don't know. Release is a lot harder to think about. If I could put it on everything, I'd put it on everything. I don't want it to be a huge game, so like if it worked on fucking Raspberry Pi, I'd put it on Raspberry Pi, you know what I mean? but there's licenses to think about. Raspberry Pi you can probably just develop freely for, but I don't even know if fucking Game Maker can release for that. If I could put it on mobile, I'd like to put it on mobile, but I need to basically build it. I need to think about mobile from the get-go for the controls. Platformers on mobile is usually kind of awful. Steam is like the obvious one. It's not super duper expensive to put something on Steam, and that's where it would get the most awareness. It like this like could have been a Flash game once. My ambition is a bit too high for a Flash game, I think, but it's not way too high. The guy who made Celeste, he made some Flash games before Celeste, right? I played one of them, I think. You like climbed a tower. It had extremely good jump mechanics, so it's not surprising to me that Celeste has extremely good jump mechanics. Some of the tightest jumping I've ever felt in a platformer in that Flash game I played. He had another correct TP there. I want my game to be a little bit like an obstacle course. I want that to be how it feels. You're presented with a room and you have to figure out the route through the room and hopefully do it quickly. I know exactly where I'd start if I was making a beat 'em up. I could make a good beat 'em up. I like kind of like beat 'em ups, but if it's got the right mechanics, I really like them. Head Crashier, I do like that. Yeah, CVS. That's a good name. I feel like I remember this Dr. Seuss name too for the Blanca. Dr. Seuss. Prince of Persia. 2, I guess, is my favorite. 1 is the one I'm designing my game off of, loosely. I wonder if he body splatted there if it would have worked. Never played Fight and Rage. Is that like some modern fucking Streets of Rage? How about Mystical Ninja? You guys ever play that? Great game. Couldn't beat it though, I had to put in the Konami code. No. I played the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fighting game on the Genesis, and I actually thought it was pretty good, but a lot of people call it garbage. Why did it stop? Okay. Ultra 2 would punish those, I think. I never played Brawlhalla. I've only barely watched it. Blanca Ball, you can Ultra if it's medium or heavy. I don't think you can Ultra EX, and I don't think you can Ultra Light. Actually, it might work for EX. Those were all up balls, though, and I think you can Ultra those. All up balls bounce off the same distance, I think. Tricky. You can react to those. I'm quite good at it. Because I fight Blancas all the time, because I fight a Blanca. You can like almost OS against it. If you see a Blanca ball coming at you from certain ranges, you can hit like a crouch jab and you'll be blocking a Blanca ball if it's a fast one, and you'll like hit the recovery of a slow one. Body splat would have done so much. He had to hold it. Ugly. The only way to have armor on your swing for a focus attack is to charge to level 3. All the other ones stop having armor the second you release. Pretty sure that was ultra punishable. That was like a heavy one or a medium one. Mochi's tier list? Yeah, it was whack. It was wiggity whack. Ultra right here. I would have done it. It would have worked. I don't know if it would have worked actually. Blanca might have just gotten out of the way. There's certain characters he put so high and certain characters he put so low. He didn't think Sakura was so bad. I usually like when I see Sakura not at the bottom of a tier list. He put G super duper low. A lot of Japanese players take a lot of the US top like favorite characters and put them low. It's kind of funny. G is quite popular in America. So is Rog. Ken and Guile a bit too. Certain characters just resonate. American player base. Laura as well, oddly enough. Those characters are almost not played at all in Japan compared to here. So if you don't have a good player of so-and-so character, you're not going to rate so-and-so character very well. Sanjab whiffed. I didn't actually know that Sanjab whiffed on certain characters. I didn't know that was a thing Hugo had to deal with. That's obnoxious. He could have punished that with Stand Strong, the up ball. It's ugly. That's not like super duper powerful. Stand Strong is 120, which is like really high for a medium. But you know, in terms of punishes, it's not great. He said Geef was high tier but very flawed, which I maybe like agree with. That was a failed. Well, he had a shoot down backbreaker there. That works, by the way. You can literally do that. That actually works. If you get an anti-air Larry, you can combo a shoot down backbreaker. He could have killed sooner. He could have even EX'd it to be extra safe. EX has the same startup as Light, I think, but a little bit more range. Where's the next match? There we go. Throws. Big thankies from Mixed Spankies. Geef can be risk-taking or not. That's the beauty of him. That's like Grapplers a little bit in general. Is that you can play super safe with like regular throws and like just approach like walk block kind of gameplay. And you'll like not take any risks, but you can still occasionally bait like commits from the opponent who are just trying to get out of the way of stuff. Stop dropping that, dude. He's probably going for the low strong link and just being early. Ooh. Low forward, but if he did low strong, he could have comboed uppercut. Headbutt. Ooh, very cool. Great link. That's kind of hit only. Pretty badass. What was that guy's name, Big McThankies from McSpankies? He did nothing wrong. He was right. Jimmy Neutron was the asshole in that episode. He was the bad guy. Jump Fierce would have worked. In Omega, EX Uppercut went from whiffing on crouching opponents to forcing stand on crouching opponents, which is like the biggest buff in the universe. It was a big tournament, and she won using some bullshit. Wait, I thought that was Ultra when she won Evo. That didn't get nerfed, did it? Did she get nerfed in 1.04? I thought she got nerfed before that. She'd been nerfed a bunch of times. Rose, like, they treated her like she was perfectly balanced in vanilla. She's gone up, like, no, in super. She's perfectly balanced in super. So she's always had, like, an equal number of buffs and nerfs every patch. In 5 or 4 for Geese normals. Geese normals in 5 are good, but with low combo ability. Towards Fierce is great, but the speed is not super duper amazing, and you gotta be pretty close to actually start abusing it. But like it's almost as good as Alex's Lariat, while being on a character with much better other stuff. Crouch jab is still really good, but obviously the fact that you can't combo out of it except a literally point blank crouch jab is kind of an issue. Or like VT1. No, it doesn't work even if you're point blank. It does it. It's +3, so it's literally just V or just V trigger and counter hit stuff. Smart. But like crouch jab is as good as it ever was in terms of like hitbox, which is important, and speed, which is also important. Oh. He should have just done all punches to get more chip, to be honest. I understand why they'll never give Geef stand full or 4-frame stand light kick. But it would be so nice if he had a 4-frame stand light kick. So nice for Geef. It'd be terrible for everyone else. But it would help his punishing so much. It's so annoying that he can't do that. You have to cancel stand light kick to Lariat if you want the Lariat to actually reliably work. Yeah, that works. There were some I couldn't do at all. Yeah, Geef is one of the most changed characters in Ultra. I mean, in 5. Where's my Kage? Played this matchup a lot. I think it's in Vega's favor, but it's not super duper extreme. See the 6-4, 6.5, 3.5. Vega's favor. Quite a good Vega right here. El Bono Loco. That's a punish. Vega can do several things to punish that. That's probably the best meterless one. Does less damage than close hard kick. But it's very common to only get one hit of hard kick in that context, and sweep does more damage than one hit of hard kick. And you get the knockdown too. So the knockdown is better often than 2 hits of hard kick. Stand hard kick is like 120. I think sweep is like 100 for Vega. He can also EX Claw Dive punish it. Ooh, very nice. And he can also Ultra 1 or Ultra 2 or Super it. I've been thinking about doing how to play Kage. I haven't done like a video to help people out in a while, and those are super easy to make and people like them a lot. And I never did like a fucking Kage B&B, so I should like... I would have done that sooner, but you know... Shoryuken's currently having a little advertising issue. Maybe you guys don't know. He could have punished that if he was only not committed. That was nice. That was super nice. That was a punish. That was a read on that. There's like certain things I don't really know what to talk about. Like what the fuck do you talk about for VT1? It's actually really complicated the way VT1 works. There's a contract that I shouldn't say anything actually because I don't know if it's like public. Jump back strong is really good in this matchup. I think VT1 is the better trigger. It depends a bit on the matchup, but I think VT1 is usually better. I would maybe think VT1 was better if they were both 2 bars. It definitely, VT2 definitely has better Oki, and it definitely is a lot easier to combo. VT1 combos are not that great. VT1's all about the neutral. I don't know the frame kills with Kage either, so if I want to talk about that, it's like, what the fuck do you do after BT2 splat? Like, what's the pun? What's the frame kill there? I know you get like perfect meaty. The demon is nice. The problem is VT. That bar is that because I left the. There we go. The problem with VT2 is that it comes so late and you need so many resources to abuse it. Otherwise, it's quite strong. It also doesn't help your neutral very much. It mostly just like stacks on what you can already get. Most V-triggers, it's like playing a better character for a bit, but Kage's basically just increases his damage. I would really like to have the meaty overhead, like some setup into the meaty overhead in the Kage how to play. I think Kage struggles more in neutral than any other component of his character. It's the main complaint I usually hear with him is he's stubby. Demon is very strong. It depends on the character you're fighting. But sometimes being able to punish -1 or -2 is like a huge deal. And also, like, the ability to combo into it as easily as you can. Being able to combo Demon after Super after +2 is a big deal as well. I like Kage a lot. A lot of people have kind of written him off. There was like a huge mutual agreement that Kage was like top tier. And 1 month later, there was like a huge mutual agreement that Kage was like bottom tier and maybe bottom 1. And people still seem to kind of think bottom 1. I think he's like okay. Flame kick. Yeah. Um, I don't think he's like super duper high or super low. I definitely don't think he's bottom 3. But calling bottom 3 is actually pretty hard. I think he's more fun than the other Shadows, except Sakura. And maybe Akuma too, actually. I don't know. There's certain things about him I think are much stronger. Not stronger like tier-wise, but stronger like design-wise. Like more fun. It's a hard question to answer. I made a tweet about Kage just recently. You guys can read it if you want. Basically, I said I wish Kage had Evil Ryu's towards medium kick, and that it cancelled. Because, like, Evil Ryu's towards medium kick only cancels to a weird version of his ground Tatsu, which is not super duper interesting. I guess it's technically supposed to be his air Tatsu, but it has a weird arc. Um, but Kage would be able to cancel into his Freaky Air Tatsu and his Freaky Air Fireball. Oh, we missed some hype Viper ownage right there. Um, so he'd have radically different follow-ups than Evil Ryu, and hopefully more technical. If it like dodged, if it was -2 and it dodged lows and it dodged throws, and if you canceled it, it was unsafe. Like if you canceled it too, I don't know if canceled a fireball would be unsafe, but canceled a Tatsu would be unsafe. But canceled a Tatsu would combo, and then canceled the EX Tatsu would combo and have a juggle. I think that'd be really fun for that character if you had that normal, and you could do stuff like that with it. And then you could do like, maybe in VT1 you could do like towards medium kick, cancel the air fireball into teleport, or cancel the Tatsu into teleport, and then get a combo like that. Or like stay safe if it's Tatsu, or get a combo if it's fireball, for example. Or if it's VT2, you can combo either one into the splat. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't it be fun to do forward medium kick, cancel to air fireball, cancel into VT2 splat? I love the quality of life thing he already has that his fucking Tatsu's hit crouchers. Worse health. Is that true? I thought he had better health than Akuma. I'm pretty sure. I actually don't know about the invincibility of VT1 at all. When you use it to make stuff safe, you're usually just canceling the recovery into the teleport. Akuma used to have 875. I don't think anyone does now. I think Akuma's currently 900, as stated by Rockwell. Sounds correct to me. Ugh. They made the health differences less extreme than they were at release. Oh, he just had to let that rock. EX Seismo was gonna kill there. No, was it a low strong? It was a low strong. He hit a medium knuckle to get the kill. I don't know what that was though. Ah, I went too far. Damn it. That was a fast round. Whatever it was. Alright, good enough. Damn, am I the guy who's saying this low tier isn't that bad? Is that me? You calling me that? I think soccer is underrated. I think Kage is probably low but not bottom, but he might be mid. I don't think it's fair to really classify him until someone's really utilizing everything he has. And there hasn't been anyone who's like fully unlocked. When I think about weak characters, I usually think about Vega first. I think about Nash too. But I don't know if I even think Nash is that bad. Sometimes I see people say Laura is super bad, but I don't know if I believe that. I don't know what to think about Laura. Like, Laura's tier is based on how well you know her setups, and I don't know her setups super well. I said Vega. I think that's someone I'm forgetting, though. Who's like a more obvious pick than Vega. Vega's bottom one to me. Fong is... I don't know. The game is really balanced right now. Tier discussions are like kind of like... They kind of don't mean anything. Kage has a lot of really nice strengths. Reliable anti-air has got nice, and he's got a bunch of them. Oh, we got it, I think. His damage is pretty good too. Got nice 1-bar stuff, and he's actually got 2-bar stuff. Almost every anti-air in this game is minus on dash up. You're lucky if you've got like Chun-Li stand like kick into forward dash. That used to be common, but they made it rare. Sakura gets anti-air light DP, and she can't chase in a if she forward dashes, she's not even that close to the opponent. Crouch Fierce is better, but same with Kage. Kage's also got a Crouch Fierce he can like follow in. Ryu doesn't get any sort of fucking anti-air DP into dash in plus frames. I don't think that Akuma does either, but Akuma usually does back fierce instead. I don't know about Ken. Like, I legitimately don't know. I think tier discussions mean a lot if the game is unbalanced. That's the trick. Is that like the intricacies matter only if the game is pretty balanced. If the game is pretty balanced, it starts mattering about how the characters do in individual matchups. But then you can have games like fucking Marvel 2 where everyone is like, you know, a character can just suck. You can have fucking Amingo or whatever. Or like Melee. You can have fucking Melee Bowser. Melee Kirby. Tier discussions matter a lot in unbalanced games. Tiers matter a lot in unbalanced games. But yeah, I think personal, like player matchups are only important once fucking... I mean, obviously you can be good at a matchup even in a really unbalanced game. Even in an 8-2, you can play the 8-2 well. I can definitely say on a grounded opponent that Ryu's medium uppercut does not give you Oki. And I don't think it's any different on an air-to-air or anti-air. It just throws the opponent way too far back. Nice. Anti-air Ultra 1 is one of the only ways to land it with Bison. It's kind of weird timing. It's probably intended to be a close Fierce. The shimmy with Fire Fierce ended up being alright though. Cool, empty jump. Do you see that? That was actually super smart. He empty jumped from range where Crouch Fierce was going to whiff only if he empty jumped. No, I don't want the stream to have audio. I want it to have just a little bit, but honestly I can barely hear it. Oh, I thought you were talking about the stream that I'm watching. I did my own tier list, didn't I? About who could say the N-word and who had clean cars. My tier list wouldn't be super different from anyone else's, and it also wouldn't be like important or interesting. And also, I would acknowledge that a lot of the characters I would place, I like wouldn't be very sure about. I don't know where fucking Zangief is right now. It's a hard call. If I look at each individual matchup and like, does this character beat Geef? Does this character lose to Geef? I can usually get it. But when I think about the totality of Zangief and where he's left at the end of the day. That's super hard. There's a few characters like that. I can do pretty much the same shit with Nash. I'm pretty sure I know where Nash is strong and where he's weak. You know, that kind of thing. That's probably safe. It's probably plus. Farther Psycho Crusher travels, the safer it is. It's like a spiral arrow. Another one? Yep. Fun fact, the JP state from a teleport ground slam, is different whether it's regular or EX teleport. After EX teleport, you can get 2 uppercuts. After regular teleport, you can only get 1. Best Kimmy players, huh? I don't know anymore. I think Verloren was probably either the best or the second best for a while. NL is quite good. He's probably top 5. Um, Let me think. Let me think about Kimmy players for a second. I probably wouldn't put Gamer B top 5. He's good though. Kazunoko, I don't know. I haven't actually seen that much Kazunoko Kami footage. Or Kazunoko footage in SF5 in general. K-Brad I don't think is that good at SF5 in general. Xiaohai is extremely good. I guess you can count Deuce Kami. Yeah, I like that top 3. For Lauren, Xiaohai, NL. Maybe Xiaohai, Verloren, NL, if I want to be in an order. I don't know, it's hard to say. I went into a bunch of MK11 streams and I asked a bunch of people there if it was fun. And almost everyone said yes. It's the most important thing anyway. I feel like what K-Brad is good at does not exist in 5. Or like exists a lot less. His discretion was really good. Combat discretion, which is different if not outright like non-existent in SF5. And his execution was really good, which is not a huge factor to being the better player in this game. And I think he hasn't been putting as much time into it. I can't tell. He's definitely not the force that he was in SF4. I don't know if MK11 is going to be like this, but Marvel 3 was slow as fuck before people got training mode. So it's a thing that can happen. I've seen several fighting games like that actually, but Marvel 3 is probably the most extreme example. Before people actually got hold of the game, it was Deadpool versus Dante on every team, and it was very turtly, and most games went to timeout. And it's like weird to think about that with Marvel 3. Most games go into timeout. Oof. Super normal. Maybe he doesn't like fucking Rogue. Oof. That being said, damage looks really low in um, MK11 compared to other NetherRealm games. It looks super duper low. I don't know if that's a weakness or a strength. I appreciate it. I usually like low damage in fighting games, but it depends on the flow. It depends on the mix-ups and the flow of the match. Low damage can be like horrible, or it can just make it so, it's a longer and more well-earned win. Very nice. Ooh, he needed both the jab and the strong to get the charge there. So that was very nice because that's a one frame link. Low jab, low strong. It's blinkable. It's not super duper hard, but realizing you need to go for a one frame link and then going for it and getting it is always pretty nice. Vega's anti-airs are normally pretty garbage, but they're actually pretty good in this matchup. The backflip is useful. He's got a good low profile in the low forward, and he can air to air really well with both the air throw and the jump strong and the jump fierce. Three things. Um, Ultra 2 works a bit as well. Anti-air focus is vital against Viper, and Vegas is no worse than anyone else. So even though Vega usually gets fucked by rushdown characters, and even though Viper's a pretty extreme rushdown character, the matchup's not so bad. I think he could have gone Sagat. Well, I don't know how good his Sagat is. I played El Cubano Loco. He's a SRK staff. I played him during the SRK tournament, and I was going to put it online, and then I didn't because I felt bad. I was the first soccer he'd ever played in his life, and I won like pretty free. I like recorded it and everything, and I was like, eh. I didn't want to blow him up. That's the one where I fought Frabisar at finals. I made $60 because I won. I played Shen in SF5 recently, and I won one game of four, and I thought about putting it online, but it's a mess. It's a really ugly fucking series of plays. It was like kind of cool beating Shen, but it was like a laggy match for both of us. So like it didn't really matter. It wasn't really determined by skill. It was determined by like lag and luck. Also, hi, so cool, skinny. Bath versus Shen, Ultimate Grand Battle, Gone Sexual. Click here. E Honda confirmed for SF5. Bunch of question marks. I missed a round. Maybe I can get something about the Mueller report in there too. For a little bit of political commentary. Ooh, very nice. It's a really cool anti-air that Bison has. It's jump strong, strong. Even if you're really low to the ground, you can space out those two hits. Most air TCs don't work like that. Bison's is really unique. Usually you can only do the second air TC like immediately. What a basic bitch combo. I like it. No roundhouses or anything. There's no shame in that. Everyone's rusty, don't go for links. Remember when EX Scissor Kick was invincible? Remember when EX Scissor Kick was unsafe? That's the thing I actually don't remember. Bison's like the one sweep where you can't do that. SF5 Bison Scissor Kick is like the opposite of unsafe. It's actually pretty hard to punish a point blank EX Psycho Crusher even though they're really minus, just because he goes really far away. That's a good ultra for doing it. Also, you have to do your ultra motion in the other direction, which is annoying but not hard. It just means you've got to be thinking about it. I remember doing, I used ultra double against Bison actually, as Elena. I don't know if it's good, but it worked for me. What happened to Bison? A lot of him is intact spiritually, I think. But like, what the fuck happened that he went from having like the best wake up options and the best movement to like the worst wake up options and like the lowest walk speed? Oh, that's too early. You can't have wake up options in 5, but Bison is particularly weirdly weak there. A lot of characters who don't have wake up options kind of have wake up options either in trigger or with EX. And the closest thing Bison has to a wake up option that's not super, which is basically universal except for Vega, is VT1 EX Stomp, which doesn't hit immediately. Um, can be interrupted before it hits. It is invincible. You have to be in trigger. You have to have the right trigger, be in trigger, and use an EX. Still better than Vega. EX Scissor has some, all Scissor Kicks I think in VT1 have some invincibility, but I don't know if any of them are frame 1 invincibility. EX Stomp is. But all of them are invincible while they're, like, invisible. I think Vega does need a little bit of help with fireballs, but no one in SF5 really needs help with fireballs. Usually the fireballs themselves are pretty balanced. So fireball options are not like a huge deal for most characters. There's already enough weakness to reuse fireball that you don't need something to go through it, you know what I mean? Whoa! Vega can use his Air VT1 to blow up fireballs. It's not impossible or even impractical, but it is oddly specific. It like feels like it should be a little easier. You don't have to be at like a super crazy specific range. It works at most positions on the screen. V-skill is not bad against the fireballs. You really wish it was like a better invincible move. Now we got Cody and his invincible V-skill. It's like, why not just give Vega an invincible V-skill? I mean, it is invincible, but you know. I'd like Vega's V-skill more if it like had just frame 1 full body invincibility and like was unsafe maybe. It's already pretty unsafe. Just make it outright unsafe and make it a million times better at being invincible. I'd appreciate that. That was a punish. Okay, I probably wouldn't make it minus 40. Vega really doesn't need nerfs. The idea of like Vega having some like a V skill to make him invincible is very much what V skill should be about, to fucking patch up a character weakness. But instead, it's just a mediocre ender to his combos where he can end with something else that's better. To one specific combo route, which is the fucking target combo routes. What's this nonsense? Give me the game. James. Vicious. What is this? It's like Samurai Showdown. I don't actually know what game this is, but I'm pretty sure it's Samurai Showdown. I couldn't tell you which one. I recognize Hamaru though. I want Ultra. This is 5. It's 2 and 5, right? Are like the ones that people like. 2 and 5 are the good ones. 2 and 5 special are the good ones. Whoa, that red fucking bow lady. She looks cool. Oh, it's Tekken. Wait, was top 8 actually not on stream? Are we just boned? I don't want to watch no Tebin. Damn, that's sad. I kind of like watching Tekken, but like, I'm very bad at picking out like stuff from other stuff, if you know what I mean. All matches look fundamentally pretty similar to me, but like, it's still like decently entertaining to watch. But I don't know the specifics of a lot of the characters, even though I like know their moves and stuff. I like basically understand how the combos go. It's usually some variation of launcher, first 2 hits or 3 hits or whatever of some string. Maybe repeat that. Some kind of spin stun. Some kind of pickup combo for max damage. And then maybe if you hit a wall, you can tag on a few extra hits. Especially if the wall breaks. When you start with a low parry, you basically start with the spin stun. But then you've got like less gravity, so you can do a little bit longer of a combo, I think. I know the way that Tekken scaling works is that it's full damage until the opponent leaves the ground, and then it's like half damage, and then less from there. So like the juggly parts of the combo, it doesn't scale super bad across them, but all of them are not doing that much. It's Guilty Gear. I know these two. I know Kizzy K. I don't know who Diamond Doe is. Diamond Doe. But I know these characters and I know that player. I know how Sin works. What's Mike Ross at this tournament? I wouldn't even be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised if he was playing Guilty Gear. Oh my fuck, I actually want that. I don't know how easy it is to get specific numbers in TVC. It'd be pretty funny to just have a fucking TVC combo in the middle of it. I've got 2 SF5 combos. I've got a G combo and a Ed combo that both do 420. No, Kage. A Kage combo and a G combo. I'm just gonna put them in the middle of it. Just kind of a random cut to fucking Kage. Why is Sin so hungry? I'm probably going to do it between the first, second, and third wave. I still haven't actually decided whether I'm going to do all characters 3 combos in a row or 1 combo for each character and do the whole like roster of characters and then the next whole roster for the second combo and then the next whole roster for the third combo. I'm probably going to put a bunch of like parody like combo video stuff in the beginning too. The fucking opening of Sandstorm or whatever. Like all the players who worked on it. Spab, you'll be a picture of Ibuki. Unless you've got something you'd rather I use. And then I'll probably have that superimposed over some footage of like fucking an Omega Cup. With Sandstorm playing in the background. Kihara will probably be Eddie's brother. Or maybe Mewtwo King. Sefric might be a Ludicolo. Kendall will probably literally be like a fucking My Little Pony OC. Haven't decided about myself yet. Probably a Slaw. Two Pokemon. I don't know. Wouldn't it be great if SoCal tournaments had Third Strike? Damn, that's crazy. I actually beat Fudo in a BAF Cup one time because he didn't show up. Also, I added in Fudo myself. Also, that never happened, but it could. I could add Fudo to one of my tournaments and then beat him by default. I could put Daigo in too. I could make a BAF Cup that's just me and like all the best players, and then none of them show up, so I win. I can make it an invitational for $100 and then just give the $100 to myself. What does Ohio have? Tell me the secrets of Ohio. I played a little bit of training mode and trials and whatnot for Guilty Gear. I like Chip. I'd probably play him if I played this game. I like his number of jumps. I like his movement. His combos felt nice. He's not very entertaining to watch. He kind of is. I like watching Axel a lot. Axel's the most entertaining character for me in this game. He's very cool. I get it a lot, but it's because I'm a name. Every time I play someone, I get a fucking invite after the fact, and by every time I mean sometimes. People are like, oh, run that back. I don't care about this footage. Let me find something else. I should stop restreaming. You hate Zeku VT2? What about it? Zeku VT2 is one of many things that stops me from jumping. And by stops, I mean doesn't stop because I never stop. Vape Escape should be a real game. Hmm. Time for a complete blindfolded playthrough of Pokemon Red and Blue. I wonder if I could do that. I wonder how far I could get. I would know which route or which town I was in based on the music. And I'd know whether I was entering a building or not. I wouldn't know what moves I was picking. I'd have to be super careful about it. I'd have to listen to all my level ups and know where all the all the level ups where I learned moves, and I'd have to put them in the right spot. I'd have to count the button presses. Using items would be super hard. That would be a fairly easy game to play blindfolded, though. In terms of all the games you could play blindfolded, Pokemon would be extremely, extremely possible. Sounds kind of fun, to be honest. How about some Crota Hugo versus TMQ? That sounds fun. I don't like that guy's voice. I especially don't like how quiet the game sound is. I think it was UHF. There was some movie I saw. I think it was UHF. Where there was two guys sitting on a park bench, and one of them was wearing like the blind glasses. And he had a Rubik's Cube in his hand. And he just gave it a spin. And he like turned it to his friend who was sitting next to him, and he's like, "Is that it?" And the friend was like, "Nope." And then takes it back and he spins it again. He like gives it another twist. He's like, "Is that it?" It was like such a quick little gag. Trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded just by making random spins. I can solve a side of a Rubik's Cube. That's like one of the... If you're trying to brute force a Rubik's Cube, that's one of the first things you figure out. The actual methodology people use who are like pro at solving them is different. Ooh, very nice. It's an empty cancel and a low short. Probably on reaction to the dash because Q's is not very fast. Kuroda's looking for forward dashes all the time forever. Why was that throw not in range? Oh, that wasn't a punish. Congrats, Kuroda. Ooh. Okay. I forget the actual three-step process of solving a Rubik's Cube. One of them is solve the corners. One of them solves the edges, and the next one solve the corners. But there's like another step, maybe between them, aligning the corners or something like that. Or maybe it's aligning the side, solving the corners. Something like that. Who knows? Nice red. It's a mystery. Rubik's Cube solvers know. Nice party trick though. I like never gave Rubik's Cubes a second thought, and then one of my friends like brought one. It was to high school. Brought one to high school. And he's like, check this out, and he solved it. And we were all like, what the fuck? Everyone was blown away. We were like, you must be a super genius. Very nice. Yeah, I think you get 2 taunts there, but he only took 1. Whew. You get like a lot of that meter back when you go for the command grab into EX dash punch. You get like half the EX meter back just from the hard kick. That's the beauty of VT1. I mean VT1, what the fuck? SA2 Q. Is that burning the bar is actually not very costly in the scenarios where you would do it. It's like you saved up that whole fucking meter. But if you don't need the whole thing to win the round, you can just use a little piece of it. And then you'll get it back again fairly easily in the next round. He gets quite a lot of damage out of an EX is what I'm trying to say. Most characters in this game don't. Like basically all my EXs for Azora are like for neutral. None of them increase my damage. They all have other functions. Hit grab doesn't have an EX at all. EX uppercut does more stun without doing substantially more damage. EX fireball is entirely neutral oriented. And EX stomp is basically a meme. EX air stomp is definitively a meme. Very nice. Jump away was pretty low risk there. That was maybe an SA2 opportunity. Scary, yeah. Those were hard to parry because they were all whiffing. And that was a good mix of high and low ones. So just even walking in trying to tap forward wasn't probably going to parry something because you could eat a low forward or a low short. It's like weird trying to explain what low commit stuff is in this game because it feels like everything has some commitment. But you start getting aware once you played for a while on what really has 0 chance of being parried and what won't be that bad if it's parried. And those are the actual low risk things. Those are how to play turtly in third strike, is you only attack with things where either it's not going to get parried or it's like not bad if it gets parried. Jump back medium kick is very not bad if it gets parried. Stand jab from half screen is not bad if it gets parried against Q. The only way he can ever make you regret it is maybe parrying it from close enough to get a super 2 and instantly super 2ing. Super 1 would probably work as well. Got him. That's nice, but it's not enough. Taunts basically don't matter at this stage in the match. Oh, that was so risky. Q could have fucked Hugo up for that. Well, not fucked him up because he wasn't going to have charge. The worst was probably going to be staying medium kick to medium slaps, which is not too bad. Didn't have meter either. Well, a command grab would have worked. If he actually didn't commit to anything, he could have command grabbed the recovery and that would have killed. Walk up car throw. Q's car throw is very hard to do forward. It's very easy to do backward. Because it's off of a back plus medium punch. That's very nice when you're cornered and very not nice when the opponent's cornered. Fortunately, Q tends to find himself cornered. Whoa. That was jumping parry, I suppose, into block. Anti-air command grab, it looks really garbage to someone who doesn't play third strike. But you play it a lot and it starts being a better and better idea the higher up you get. It's got so much startup. People don't empty jump very much in this game until you get to the really high levels. Because jump-ins are fairly low risk. People do jump in parry stuff. Probably like mid-level and up you start seeing jump in parry. That's like one of the big marks of a mid-level player. The level players won't do it. Yeah. Whether you do anti-air parry or not, or I should say jump and parry, is basically entirely based on how fast you learn that is entirely based on how who you play and who you fight. If you fight Ken, who's always doing hard DP anti-air, you will learn anti-air parry or jump and parry super duper fast. It'll be one of the first things you learn. I was able to let go a really long time without really learning the timing of jump and parries, and my jump and parries are still not amazing compared to most players my skill level. Although I can generally do it pretty well. There's quite a lot of nuance to it. But I usually just hid behind the fact that I could use different kinds of jumps to get results. It's like, okay, let me try that again from a different angle, and then the different angle works. It's really hard, even if you're a great player, to completely shut down Oro's air approaches because they're so varied. I know them pretty intimately, and I can still be hard against another Oro to fully control the jumps, but I'm better at it than most people. That's good. That doesn't really surprise me, but it's cool. Whoa. Command grab in the first couple seconds. Is it Kara? Kara command grab around start? Wow, it was. Pretty hard to do. It's not super duper hard, it just has a weird motion. It was in that fucking trial. Crystal Cubes trial. Ooh, that was good. Hard slap's getting fully parried. Probably the best punish he could have gotten. I didn't even know this for fucking ages, but Q's slaps have different versions. I don't know if they all do the same damage. The light one is definitely safer than the other two. But they have different arcs. The 3 light ones are all pretty low, and the 3 heavy ones are all pretty high. That was a heavy one that we saw get parried. If Oro's crouching, the last, maybe a bunch of them actually whiff on him for the heavy one. I imagine medium has more range than light. Anti-air slaps is a free taunt too, which is nice. So medium kick beat the shit out of backbreaker. It really doesn't have a good hurt box at all. It is unparryable, which is very unique. It's like it's one of the only unparryable anti-airs in the game. But it's very easy to just beat with an air normal. And there's no EX version, unlike SF4. So it ends up being a lot more mediocre than you would probably expect. Hugo doesn't have a great anti-air. Most anti-airing for him is just parrying. It's careful spacing. Hugo can basically only lose to a parry into super at this point. So Kuroda's trying his best to not really commit to anything that will eat that. You can see he's going for counter pokes. He's not trying to hit TM at all. He's just trying to prevent TM from approaching. There you go. Very well spaced attacks. Super smart. Needing charge is such a pain in the ass for Q. His only way of building charge inherently is fucking command grab. It's nice that you can do stand medium kick dash punch super 2 for example as a punish. But if you're out of range for that fucking stand medium kick, all of a sudden the whole combo just goes to shit and you've got to punish with like raw dash punch super 2 or worse yet raw super 2 depending on how minus the attack is. Like raw dash punch doesn't punish like a fucking tackle, I don't think. Ooh, that was a Kara. Got the juggle. He's got all 3 taunts now. It's like unwinnable. It's not unwinnable, but it was such a hard comeback. Q with full health and fucking double health because of the 3 taunts. Ugh. I've gotten smacked around by a Hugo who only hits stand medium punch. It's a remarkably good button. Nice. Q's air normals are slow as shit. Especially hard kick. It's one of the slowest air normals in the game. You ever seen Makoto neutral jump fierce? Why the fuck is that so slow? It's like probably the slowest air normal in the game. Like literally in order to hit a grounded opponent with you, you have to hit the button while you're still going up. Nice anti-air. Super reliable. Very low damage. Anti-air jab into jab into jab. This is only neutral jump hard punch. The diagonal jump hard punch is decently fast. You occasionally see that normal in her SA2 combos. SA2 dash another Fukiage into neutral jump hard punch. That's like the only context where you ever see it. Ooh, good confirm. There's a couple air lights that do that too. In SF2, every single air light normal did that. They all had active frames continuously until they land. You saw it a lot with the Shoto jump jab. It was a very common normal to use because it could cancel into the Tatsu and it was useful against certain characters in some matchups. Remy has that with his jump jab, I think. Or maybe his jump strong, I don't remember. Remy has that with some air normal. Ooh, did he want that? Because I feel like he wouldn't want that. It's tricky because they have the same animation. There are so many air lights and air mediums that have the same animation in this game. Hugo only has, like, his light kick and medium kick are the same, and his light punch and medium punch are the same midair, visually. He's got the body splash, so he's got 5 different air animations. Jump hard punch gives him the juggle. Yeah, jump light punch I knew from Q. I didn't know about jump light kick. But I knew jump light punch. That's cool. I don't know why they got rid of that. It's a cool mechanic. DJ's knee shot has it in SF4, and so does elbow drop. Those are the only 2 I can think of off the top of my head. They're both command normals. I guess all dive kicks have active frames until they land in every fighting game. Ooh, my goodness. Damn, I got a lot of fucking messages really quickly. Oh, Havit's retweeted me. That probably means I got several people commenting. Guy sent me a list of Kage changes he's wanting. I'd like if he made his instant air fireballs like Sagat side tiger shots so it could hit standing opponents. Also, he should take a step forward before doing the Hadoken. His forward hard punch should force stand on hit, and he should get Oki after his DP. I think those are all okay. Kemi definitely can in 4 do her dive kick so high it won't the active frames run out. I don't know about 5. I think 5 as well. Not EX, I don't think. Instant air fireball that hits tall character sounds like Cyborg and Cabal. And that's a dangerous road. I've seen where that road goes and it's ugly. If you've never played UMK3 or fucking MK9 and fought a Cabal. Cyborg from Injustice 1. The robot man. Victor Stone. Ooh, shoot down backbreaker. It's like tempting. Cabal is one of the most disgusting characters in any fighting game, and I'm a little scared because he's coming back for MK11. Cabal could basically do 2 things in MK9, and both of them were completely broken. He had run cancels and he had fucking instant air fireball. I like kind of want to find some Cabal MK9 footage, but also it's really gross. I think he was like consistently top 2 for the lifespan of the game. I think he got nerfed at some point, but he was still good. He had a block string infinite for a long time, but the block string infinite required you to repeatedly get a 1 frame window. Basically, his run was really unsafe on block, but you could cancel the run before it hit, but you could also cancel the run the frame it hit. So if you canceled 1 frame late, you'd be super unsafe, and if you canceled 1 frame early, you wouldn't do any block stun at all. But if you canceled on the frame where you hit, you'd have a run that did block stun and like chip damage and would end like combos. You could do like attack, 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 run, and then cancel the run on the frame it hits. And because the risk was so high in both directions, it was like, oh well, that's never going to be a big deal. Well, the trick is if you the trick that really made it good is that if you thought he was going to cancel it 1 frame early and you tried to hit his recovery, and then he accidentally canceled it 1 frame late, he'd run into you. But you wouldn't block it, so it wouldn't be unsafe. In fact, he would get a full combo on you. So actually, even though both options were really unsafe, punishing it was a bit of a trick. Oh, and making someone block was really important in MK9 because that's the only way to build meter in that game, is making your opponent block. Every time the opponent blocks one of your attacks, you get meter, like a lot of meter. And every time you use a special move, you get a bit of meter, and that's pretty much it. Oh, you get meter from getting beaten up too. Losing health causes you to get meter. But like you can like beat the fuck out of someone. Like you can go to training mode and just like beat the fuck out of the dummy, and you look at your bar and it'll still be 0. It's because you didn't lose any health and you didn't have any attacks blocked. Who's my all-time favorite MK character? In terms of lore, that's a hard call. There's a lot I kind of like for lore. I like Reptile for lore. I like, ooh, let me think. Sarina. She's cool. I kind of like Frost, but only after she turned into a villain. This game has OTGs if you don't quick stand. Search SF3 all known OTGs and you'll find my video of every one. I even include the ones that people don't know about. There are 3 that are extremely not common knowledge. Most people know about 12 and Hugo, neutral grab, and most people know about Shotos and Dudley, forward grab. But there's also 12 Oro Dudley, and Akuma anyone. Oof. Sub-Zero is great. Sub-Zero's been a consistently pretty great character. I like Scorpion a lot too, honestly. I like Shujinko a lot. A lot of people don't like Shujinku, but I love him. It's funny. The Elder Gods concoct this huge scheme to like beat Onaga. And literally like a random fucking who from nowhere just shows up and beats the Elder Gods champion, which is Scorpion. It's like, what are you doing? No, Naga's gonna fucking literally like own the entire dimension. No, Naga's literally gonna rule the universe. And Shujinko's like, oh shit, and then he kills Onaga. It's funny. It's like, where the fuck did you come from and how did you kill God? Very nice. It's not really Deus Ex Machina because you are Shujinko. He's the fucking player character for Deception's Conquest mode. You know how you got your powers, it's just no one else knows who the fuck you are. You're the Deus Ex Machina for other people. The Deception specifically refers to Shujinko's Deception. In MK Deception. Striker gun juggles are super cool. A lot of the combo ideas are so cool in MK9, but there's no balance to it. So even though Striker's combos are super cool looking, or like, Sindel's combos are super cool looking, it's like, oh man, it's gonna be so great when someone gets these fucking flight cancel combos in a match, and then it turns out literally no one plays Sindel. Ever. For like the entire lifespan of the game. Melina is a complete jobber in the lore perspective. She's literally never beaten anyone. But she's basically a baby, so whatever. Scarlet and I like the way that Scarlet had the two-hit juggles in MK9, and I like the way that Striker had them. The two-hit special moves where you could do like one hit or both. That was fun. There were a lot of really good ideas in MK9, but also the game was also, really shitty in other ways. This movement. How is Q controlling Hugo's movement so well this round? MK9 actually did have some pretty nice charm. Like, seriously. It had a lot of heart. That's how you play Hugo? Dash in low medium kick or dash in stand strong? Oh, there's the SPD. The characters themselves, every character in a vacuum is great in MK9. Maybe not every character, but most of them. But then when you start introducing other characters to each other, it starts falling apart. It's like, wow, this is so cool the way that fucking... Who's a character who, like, utterly sucks? I don't even remember who was, like, shit bottom tier. But there are a lot of characters who were just invalidated by other characters. It's like, wow, fucking Shiva's so cool. I love the way that fucking... Okay, Shiva actually doesn't have anything interesting, and she's maybe the only character like that. Iris is cute. But she's not my favorite Pokemon Lolly. But I gotta think for a while on who is. Jade kind of sucks, but she's not a good example for what I was about to bring up. A character who like is kind of cool, but then you play against a fucking noob Saiba who literally does nothing but special moves. And it's like, oh shit, I literally can't approach. And then they introduced Kenshi, and he was like top tier consistently for the entire lifespan of the game. It's questionable whether Shauna's even a lolly, but she is probably the best girl. I think that a lot of the characters are strong in a vacuum in MKX as well, and the balance is a lot better, especially after the game was been done for patching. The balance is actually pretty good in MKX Ultimate or whatever, MKXL. Most characters have one or two, or even three viable variations. Crouch Fierce, it was the right play. A lot of damage on that. Hard clap to hard punch. That's done. Both these characters are long stun bar. Both of them throw around attacks that do pretty high dizzy. Even pre-nerf, I think Smoke was just high tier, and I think post-nerf he was like mid. He has a lot of stuff that's pretty grimy. The OTG Smoke Bomb. The OTG attacks, it just adds unskilled damage to the end of any combo. That's not even gone for MKX. MKX kept that. Injustice had it too for Scorpion. I firmly believe that Mortal Kombat is a series forever trapped in the 90s, and should be. And that most of the aesthetics and the music should throw back to the 90s. I think Mortal Kombat is one of the quintessential 90s things. You know what I mean? Ooh, I can't believe that worked. What's that Tekken song? It's like dun 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 dun. I can't even fucking do it. I think it was Tekken 5. I'm gonna find MK9 footage of Cabal. What's the score? I didn't even look before I started navigating away. It's 8-0. Holy shit. Here we go. That's Evo. I don't want Evo. Wow, fucking recent footage of MK9. Rewind playing Cabal versus Sonic Fox playing Various. This is exactly what I wanted. My body's ready. This is like post-nerf Cabal, so it's not as broken as he ever was. Fucking Shang Tsung. So Shang Tsung is super interesting, not only because he can teleport, I mean not teleport, transform into your character, but better. Um, but he's also super interesting because his combos have a lot of fireballs, and fireballs cannot be broken. And not only that, but he can have combos that are only fireballs. He can put together like a fucking 30% combo that's just fireballs. So even if you have 2 bars, he can still just kill you. You also can't break a combo that starts with a, you can't break the first hit of a combo. So if it's just launch into fireballs, that whole combo is unbreakable. It's super duper unique. It's like a really weird strength Shang Tsung has. He's still probably only like a mid or high tier. But again, he can just turn into you. And if you EX it, he can turn into you with higher damage. And he can still EX while he's turning into you. So, like, you know, he can never be that bad. EX run. Damn, this edited footage, that's nice. I just want to see like one big combo. I want to see like a full Shang Tsung conversion. Sonic Fox probably knows them. I think Goro didn't die in MKX. To the best of my knowledge, current timeline Goro is alive. I think Baraka died. Melina died. Who else? There were like 4 fatalities, or like 3 fatalities in the story mode. Goro is one of the strongest characters in canon. He's like honestly like one of the next ones after Shao Kahn. This game definitely looks janky. It looks like the characters never touch each other in my opinion. Look at that fireball. He whiffs that just to build meter. You can't shake out of that or anything. Cabal's combos are pretty short. Usually it's just like a short string into the spin, the run spin, and then a short string into like the hook sword swing, or more typically a reset. Here we go. This is run pressure. He's doing a whole bunch of strings into run and then canceling the run. There's no endurance in this game, so there's nothing balancing this. In MKX, they had the same stuff. In fact, they gave this to like everyone, but they tied it to the endurance bar. So like if you did something and then if you did a string into something and canceled to something, you'd lose half your endurance. Made it a lot more fair. Your pressure had like a time limit. I think so. I think stages had different lengths. This is MK9. Also known as Mortal Kombat 2011, also known as Mortal Kombat. So you're using the instant air fireball to go over the low fireball. It's like a quarter circle forward fireball from a back jump. So it's Tiger Knee, but it's Tiger Knee the other way. I think. It's quite hard to do those. So there wasn't anyone doing them really well for a while. But now there's some players who have like mastered it. Mortal Kombat 9 is a retelling of Mortal Kombat like 1 and 2. I think, right? It's 1, 2, and 3. It's all 3 of them. Mortal Kombat X is kind of new territory, but kind of 4. It's a canon reboot. It's a sequel and a reboot. It doesn't make sense until you play it. Basically, the universe ends after Mortal Kombat Armageddon, as promised by the title Armageddon. Well, the universe doesn't end, but things get really fucked for Earth. And Raiden is like, I gotta send a message back in time. And he sends a message to Mortal Kombat 1 Raiden. Yeah, literally all Mortal Kombat characters are dead by the ending of Armageddon, except Shao Kahn and Raiden. Raiden questionably cannot die, because anytime he dies, he just gets brought back to life. Super cool combo. All that damage on that crouch 2. because he was transformed and he got the damage boost. Shao Kahn survived because he was the strongest. The plot of Mortal Kombat Armageddon is that every single person is fighting, and the person who wins gets a wish granted, basically. And Shao Kahn was the last survivor of everyone, which is unsurprising if you know his lore. He is a strong motherfucker. He is like the top of Mortal Kombat power levels. Shao Kahn ever getting beaten is like a cosmic fart. It's like, what the fuck happened? It's like a mistake. Liu Kang is no slouch himself. He's one of the strongest characters in the universe. He's beaten Shao Kahn once solo and once with Kung Lao, I guess. I think is canon. Yeah, Shao Kahn is overconfident too. Yes, main boss of 2 and 3. He's one of the big bads, but he rarely has. He doesn't actually often have beef with the main characters. He's old as shit, and he's also like a powerful wizard. And he's also burly as hell. You can be immortal and Shao Kahn can punch you and you'll die. That's how strong he is. It's not addressed too often, but he's powered up by souls the same way Shang Tsung or Ermac are. Not clear. He's older than we know, is the thing. There's never been like an origin story for him or anything. He's just the guy who's currently in power. MK1, 2, and 3 are all about like dangers Earthrealm is facing. And then MK like onwards goes to be more about dangers the like multiverse is facing, I suppose, but more often Outworld. So Earthrealm isn't really in question a whole lot. Shao Kahn is not super duper evil. He's super duper merciless. He's capable of intense in extremely evil acts. But he's mostly just a conqueror. He's not trying to kill everyone just because he wants to. He's trying to become stronger. Have a bigger fucking empire. And that's why he wants to fucking conquer Earth. It's probably shitty. Evidence points to the fact that it's shitty. There are games where Shao Kahn is beaten and people cheer. But it depends on who you are. I think it sucked for Tarkans in his empire. Maybe? Or maybe it was good for them, I don't know. It was good if you were, whatever the fuck Goro is. It was good to them. Basically, it depends on how much he likes your species. Shokan. Shokan likes Shokan. What do you know? It's kind of funny. Goro and like Shao Kahn are like legitimately like buds. It's like a weird relationship. There's like mutual respect going on. It's like you're useful to me and you're powerful. Both directions. They have like a surprisingly like okay relationship. Shao Kahn appears to be a Tarkatan, but I don't know if he's ever appeared in canon without his helmet. He showed up in the comics without his helmet and he seems to be a Tarkatan, maybe. He doesn't have the arm blades. Maybe he's half. He showed up in Shaolin Monks without the helmet too. No. This is High Level King of the Hill with Sonic Fox and Ninja Killer. I gotta click on this. It's MKX. No, he's different from Onaga. Shao Kahn used to be Onaga's advisor. They're two completely different people. At some point in the past, Onaga got displaced and Shao Kahn became the um, emperor. And also Onaga started hating Shao Kahn's guts. So there was probably some kind of betrayal. But I don't think it's ever addressed. Also, Onaga literally is God and the universe. That's probably the weirdest part of MK lore right there. Is that there are 6 realms, and the 6 realms together, plus Onaga's body, are the 7 pieces of the one being, who is like the all-powerful, omnipotent, omniscient God of the universe, and like above the elder gods. There was this guy called the One Being who was like literally God, like super God, God of gods. And I don't know, something, I forget the lore. He got split into 7 pieces, and 6 of them became the realms, that became the universe. And one of them became fucking Onaga. You'd probably guess that this makes Onaga pretty strong in lore. But I guess this Onaga is like a teeny little piece of the One Being. Yeah, you guys get it. Earthrealm is like it's always called Earthrealm, but it's literally like the universe. It's like the Milky Way and all the other fucking galaxies. Earthrealm was acknowledged in the universe to be mostly empty space, with like a few planets here and there. And it's literally like fucking our universe. Outworld is the biggest realm, I think. No, Netherrealm is infinite. But Outworld is significantly bigger than Earthrealm. I don't know if there are planets in Outworld. I don't remember if that's a thing. It might just be flat. Everything might be flat. But Outworld is acknowledged to be like way bigger than Earthrealm. But the Netherrealm is infinite. I've mentioned it on stream before, but um it's like the perfect metaphor for Mortal Kombat Grimdark lore in general. But the Netherrealm is infinite in size, and Edenia, which is probably the closest thing to heaven, is the smallest realm. The Netherrealm is questionably not that bad. There are people there who aren't suffering anyway. Outworld is bigger than the universe. Yes, he ricochets a bullet off a quarter, don't ask me how. Oh yeah, we got a fatality. He should shoot a happy face into you. That's what that fatality should have been. It's not even Ed Boon's love child, it's I think John Vogel's love child. Sonic Fox versus Forever King. Cassie. Sonic Fox played Cassie right at the end. He started really liking her. What's that thing she's wearing on her fucking sides of her face? Goofy ass looking helmet. She looks alright. I don't like the way Jackie looks. I don't like the new cornrows. I like the old cornrows more. She definitely looks more like... She looks more unique. She had a pretty generic appearance in the last game. There's definitely a bit more personality to her current like appearance, but I don't like it as much. I didn't like it at all until I saw some of the alts for it, and now I think it's okay. Jackie's story is goddamn boring. You literally cannot write for like a black woman in a video game. That's the problem. It's that, but more extreme. It's like not being able to show a woman getting killed in a video game, but you can show a man getting killed no problem. Or you can't show a flawed woman, but you can show a flawed man, and people only give a fuck. Women are only allowed to have specific flaws, or people complain. The game is being like sexist or like fetishistic or something like that. Literally, yeah, she's Jax's kid and she wants to prove herself. They didn't do anything with her. But it's hard because she's like the fucking woman plus minority. It's just played so straight and so generic. Sonic Fox is I don't like most guest characters. Leatherface is extremely Mortal Kombat-ish, and his gameplay style is really cool. So I can only hate him a little bit. I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and I enjoyed it. 2 as in as well, and not Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which I also watched but didn't enjoy. I like the red marks on the chainsaw. It goes a long way to making his animations look better. If it was just the chainsaw swinging all around, it would look terrible. But the red line at the end of it makes it look so much better. Negan and fucking Tekken makes so little sense to me. What the fuck were they thinking? That one's so weird. It's like already way past the point where I think a lot of people have stopped caring about Walking Dead. I didn't even know Japanese people watch that shit. Has nothing to do with Tekken at all. Tekken. You can add anyone to Mugen. If Mugen isn't Shinakuma versus fucking Super Saiyan 4 Goku, you're doing it wrong. Shin Donald. Donald Duck or Donald Trump? I mean, once Negan's in, it's like it can be anyone. This is fucking Hat Trick Kung Lao. This is one of the biggest memes in the entire series. So the thing about NetherRealm is that sometimes they make, very frequently they make something not really understanding the full potential of what it can do. That becomes really obvious when it's like Summoner Quan Chi or something that's like, wow, this is really busted. But that goes the other way too. Sometimes they make a setup character and there's no setups. It's like, well, people will find something and then they don't. That's Hat Trick Kung Lao. He can throw his hat and it stays in a spot, and then you can call the hat back. It's a little bit like Monot. And you can get some extra long combos with the hat pull. But you lose hat throw and hat spin and some other stuff. You lose some range on attacks as well, I think. And I think certain normals. All the time your hat is placed. And also you can't move it easily. It's not like fucking, what's his face, Venom, where you can kind of reposition things on the fly. You've got to like call it and then put it back somewhere else. It ends up being so fucking awkward. His other two variations are really good too, that's the worst part. Tempest had really good success even from the get-go, and Buzzsaw was already pretty good and got buffed. Raiden also has like a meme setup variation. Master of Storms, I think. Where it's like people will find something and then they kind of didn't. But there's a few kind of well-known replays of, even though it's like not a very good variation, there are certain characters it's really good against. Blade Strangers would have been really good if it had Emily Elizabeth from Clifford. She'd be a good character for that game. Remember Blade Strangers? The Brutal. Quatal. It actually is. Blade Strangers is a cool fighting game. I saw people discussing like how to counter certain moves at Wednesday night fights. Because that was happening at the same time as all the Third Strike stuff. Game looked pretty strong from the engine standpoint. This is the Command Grab one. Sun God thing. It's actually really weird. Every time he lands a Command Grab, he does significantly more damage on the next Command Grab. Charges up to level 3. But unlike like Q or G, where you have like a charge up to level 3, it lasts between rounds. So he's level 2 right now. Well, now he's level 3, I guess. After that last Command Grab he got. So this is the level 3 Command Grab. Quite good damage on it, 19. But he keeps that. He'll like stay level 3. Kind of weird. Usually when there's a buff character in fighting games, they don't keep their buffs between rounds. That's a lot of damage on that combo. Kotal has super duper strong combos, like even in general, but like especially like he can get hit like 200% damage if you get some totems and parries. He can literally kill you twice over in the same combo. Dude, I want to see Negan fight fucking Lucario. I didn't know I wanted that until right now. I went from thinking Negan was a bad character option to being a good one once I thought about him fighting Lucario. Juggling to command grabs is a really good idea. I like that about NetherRealm games. Look at that hat, all menacing. The fucking Predator. Michelangelo is like the Quan Chi. He's played Quan Chi, Summoner Quan from the very beginning, I think. Summoner Quan is real neat. It's a doll character, but the bat only does like 3 things. But you can release the bat. It's not with one orb, but she can summon the orb whenever she wants. That's Summoner Quan. But not with one VT1 orb. But literally anytime there's some downtime, she can just summon it. That's it. Okay, I'll tell you the lore. Rose knows how to make a soul satellite, and Manat politely asked how to make a soul satellite, and Rose told her. You act like summoning spirit projectiles is weird in the fucking Street Fighter universe, but like tons of characters can do it. That's a really goofy fatality, but I appreciate the references to Predator movies. I firmly believe that Predator is the most macho movie of all time. And then maybe like Commando or something. I don't know. I already put in 2. Dude, they should add Parappa to fucking Smash Bros. As a power move. Over the Top is a macho movie. One of my friends, his mom was one of the test viewers for that movie. No, I lied. It was a different movie. Bloodsport's macho. Bloodsport inspired this game. Rambo is macho. Later Rambos anyway. First Blood is a little, I don't know, it's hard to say. There's like little things about it that are macho, but it's definitely not about characters trying to be manly. There's definitely some attempt by the fucking screenwriters to show the difference between this actual war guy and these pretend war guys in First Blood. So you could call that a movie about some macho themes a little bit. It's not about Rambo trying to be fucking trying to flex, but it is about other people trying and failing to flex because they can't flex against Rambo. And I would argue that makes it a little bit macho. Them trying to be manly, but they can't because he's already too manly. Them trying to be hard asses, but they can't because he's a real hard ass and they're fake hard asses. That's definitely like the plot of the first half of the movie. It's just them getting like kind of shown up. About what it really means to fucking control an area. Because he's just got an entirely different standard than them. James Bond is like one of the purest examples of a male power fantasy. Like up there with like Batman. All James Bond does is fuck women and fucking I guess gamble. Definitely drink and definitely shoot guns and be a spy. It's like close, I feel. Intelligence does seem to hurt it, doesn't it? I used to play this character. This is fucking Inferno Scorpion. This was my main for a bit. 300 is quite macho. Extremely, extremely macho. It's got to be up there. Ooh, that delayed ass EX dive kick. That was like the exact bro sound effect number two. Almost. I think the least macho would be like a woman who prides herself in being feminine. And I don't know if there's any woman like that in Street Fighter 5, to be honest. Chun-Li doesn't really strike me as someone who like, if she prides herself in anything, it's probably her fucking Her muscular ass legs are her goodness at her fucking job. Sakura likes fighting. Karine likes fighting. If it was like Rose, Laura is not really feminine. I don't know. Nice, Vega's the least macho character. Oh, this is how you play Buzzsaw. That fireball's pretty great. That juggle's hard. It's actually way harder on certain characters too. Characters who have like a forced run in the middle of their combo. Jackie has that too. Jackie and Cassie have a few parallels in the way their combo routes work, even though they're very distinct characters. Yeah, Fong is very underhanded, and I think that hurts it. Part of Macho is like playing fair, I feel. Yeah, Fong prides himself on being like subservient. He's super duper underhanded, and maybe cowardly too. Damn, that looked weird. He's more conniving than I think a Macho character should be. Birdie's like a little bit pussy whipped, to be honest. Birdie gets pushed around by a little girl. Kareem's supposed to be a woman. If fucking Sakura grew up, Kareem grew up. Oh no. Oh no. That fucking teabagging. The Quotal mirror. Buffering teabag. Maybe. It's War God. One of his variations has a good command grab. I think they all have the anti-air command grab, but one has like a ground command grab. That's the Sun God. War God has a low special and an overhead special, so you've got like block strings into a mix-up every single time you make them block a cancelable attack, which is kind of fun. And the combos are a bit more standard. It's a more regular character. And then Blood God has the totems and the buff. Wake up super. Ground pound? Nope. I think Pro Wrestler is quite macho. It's gotta be up there for most macho job. Look at all that damage. Yeah, I'll hit you with a Discord link in 1 second. Actually, I'm about to go. I want to go procure some food. I probably won't be on again tonight. But I'll hit you with it before I leave. Maybe even an incel. I don't know if Nikali knows what sex is. On one hand, Nikali appears to be a mudman who just pops up whenever things are getting fighty. But on the other hand, they've said in interviews that Nikali exists at other times and is a relatively ordinary guy when fighting is not happening, given that he's a mudman and all. He only starts having his like extreme thirst for fucking blood once people are duking it out in front of him. But apparently normally he doesn't have the stutter and you can like talk to him and stuff. I want some more lore on Nikali because that's weird as fuck to think about. I don't know what the fuck that means. Fubar Duck had a post, I think it was Fubar Duck, had a post that was like, Kage's Japanese name. I don't remember what the fuck it was, but I remember it was enlightening, but I forgot the actual name of Kage. But there's a lot that was lost in translation. ABGN fan, do you like ABGN? I just want to know. What's your favorite episode? I remember liking Sega CD. There's like reverence in the name or something. Like the one called Kage. The thing called Kage. The shadowy thing. I saw the name Kage and I knew immediately it was like Shadow and it was supposed to be like pronounced Kage. And I like figured, I didn't know if other people knew that. And then I fucking actually got home from work and watched the fucking trailer for him and they said his name aloud in every fucking windscreen. Screen. And I was like, oh yeah, everyone probably knows. I figured there would just be a bunch of people calling him Kage, but you know, since they pronounce it in game. But then there's some names that are like maybe pronounced wrong, so it's kind of weird. I've heard Adon's name is pronounced wrong, but I don't know how the fuck it would be pronounced. The announcer says Adon. The announcer says Abel, and that's a little bit weird, since I'm pretty sure anyone would say Abel. But I don't know if French actually pronounces it Abel. Japanese would. Squeen. The Zhang and Zangief apparently doesn't even exist in Russian, so I don't know if there's any fucking correct way to pronounce that at all. They've apparently gotten better at using actual like names. Hadon. I wonder if Rashid is a real name. I imagine it is. But it can't be a coincidence that Rashid is a um, anagram of Japanese Reddits. Reddish. And he's got the fucking scouter. There's no accident. It sounds like a real name. Rasid, maybe. Nice backdash. Knowing what strings you can backdash is pretty cool. Lyra? Is it Lyra? What is it? That one's tricky in Japanese because the R and the L are usually represented with the same character. Which is an R pronounced with the tongue on the top of the mouth. It's a letter that doesn't really exist in... It's a sound that doesn't really exist in English. Sonic Fox pulls wins out of his asses so often. Wins out of his asses. He just comes in and he just plays the fucking mirror. This isn't really a mirror, but you know. G stands for Grappler. G stands for guy you knock over. Nice. I feel like there's an okay chance that they're actually doing story mode 2 for SF5. And by okay, I mean non-zero. They seem to apply a few times that they wanted to do that, and now they've got enough characters that like there's a lot more that they could write about. And also they've had radio silence for a while, so they could be doing something big, and that's one of the big things they could be doing. I don't think it's likely, but you know. I've long theorized making a taco out of a quesadilla. I've never heard of anyone doing it, but it seems so obvious. That would be an extremely painful way to die. The meat cube at the end. They don't need to have every character in the story, they just need to have some of the new ones. I think I have only the new ones, none of the old ones. I don't even know what this is. Make it stop. Oh, it started again. Gil's fucking reveal and Helen's true identity was supposed to be this big old twist, but Urian's just there. Explain this. And Helen's like, oh, this is the guy I work for. Gil was at the end of story mode, yeah. He like used his magic or something to turn Helen back into Colleen. Something like that. Alright, this is a good time to stop, I guess. Let me hit a link of my Discord. That's a link to my Discord and not a link to a porn Discord. I'm not in any porn Discords. ABGN fan 26, welcome to BAF Nation. I guess this one's a porn Discord. I guess there's a porn channel. It's only there if you know where to look. There probably is an SF porn Discord. We should make that. We should make the fucking Fuda Chun-Li Discord. So that you can see all the Fuda Chun-Li porn. Which is the only Street Fighter porn. All Chun-Li, all dicks. Oh yeah, Fuda Jury and Fuda Poison as well. I can't even complain about Fuda Poison. Alright, I'm leaving for real though.